Hi, hello, good morning, and welcome back to the vlogs. My name is Danielle. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are not. I am currently in the bathroom getting ready for work. It is Monday morning. I woke up to snow on the ground, which is very exciting. It's a very light dusting, I should add, before I get too excited. But for New Mexico, that is a decent amount. So very excited about that. I had a pretty good night of sleep. It is officially Monday morning, so I am getting ready for work. We had a very busy Sunday. We had our family over, or my family over, for dinner last night, so that was really fun. I made red wine braised short rib, which I've never made before. I've seen it kind of trending. I feel like it's a trending item right now on different like recipe videos and stuff, so I wanted to try it out, and it turned out really good. I didn't realize how fatty braised short ribs are though, so I had to skim a lot of the fat out of the juice at the end before I could make the gravy. I also made a little chocolate cake for dessert. Basically, for those of you who have been watching my videos, I'm on like a calorie deficit right now just because I want to feel and look my best. We have some elopement pictures coming up in, gosh, like literally a month from today, actually, or a month from tomorrow. So they're coming up quickly, and I just want to look nice, make sure I'm fitting into the dress well, all that good stuff. So I have been on a calorie deficit, but I've chosen basically one day a week where I just do intuitive eating instead of like actually tracking what I'm eating. I feel like that provides me with a good amount of balance. So yesterday was obviously my intuitive eating day, so that way I could just eat the braised short rib and mashed potatoes, and my mom made some cornbread muffins, and I made a chocolate cake for dessert. So it turned out really nice, and we ended up just hanging out for a few hours and chatting. So we had a good time, but it was obviously very busy because I ended up cleaning the house for the majority of yesterday. But it's always a great feeling once you have people over and your house is clean for the week. So I am not too upset about it. Also, for those in my last vlog, when I was talking about that eyebrow pen that I really like, I'll show it to you in a minute. I figured out what the YouTuber's name is. Her name is Gabby Peterson, who recommended that brow pencil. She makes a lot of really good content in like the financial realm. She's started to make some vlogs too, but I really like her. She's a newer YouTuber. So I am just getting ready for work this morning. Also, I've been forgetting to mention to the vlogs that one of my New Year's resolutions was to start reading more, and I have successfully already read my first book of the year. I picked Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I'm sure these are like old books for anyone that's like been in the reading community for a while, but I didn't really know where to start. That one looked to have some decent reviews. It wasn't like overly a romance book. Seemed to like be kind of quirky and witty too, which I thought would be good. So I did read that. It was actually really nice. I liked the book a lot. I rated it 4 stars on my Goodreads just because there were some parts that I feel like kind of dragged on. But overall I liked it. It has a very interesting ending. And so I just felt like the ending was maybe a little like different from what I expected after reading the whole book, which is the main reason I gave it 4 stars, because I feel like it was almost like too much, like not like unexpected. So, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I got through it. It was a pretty easy read. I want to say it was like just over 300 pages. So it was a nice, light, easy read. And then the next book that I started is Fourth Wing. So I moved over to fantasy and I really like it. More than I was expecting, actually, because I'm not like a huge fantasy person. Like, I like different shows like Game of Thrones and movies like Lord of the Rings, all of that. And so it's about dragons and dragon riders, and it's obviously in a different world and all of that. So I wasn't sure how much I would like it, but I'm really, really enjoying it. It definitely has more romantic parts than the other book, which has been interesting. So it's nothing like super juicy, but it's definitely like more love interests in the book than there was with the Eleanor Oliphant book. So, but I'm really liking it. It's like, I want to say almost a 700-page book, and I am more than halfway done with it. I started it like a week ago. Like, I'm getting through these books kind of fast, honestly, because I spend a lot of my free time at night reading. I'm going to use my camera on my phone to help me do my under eyes. But yeah, I figured I'd fill you all in. So if there's any similar series to Fourth Wing, I think I'm gonna take a break. Oh gosh, I got an Octo Buddy and my phone seems to have attempted to fall from the mirror. So, but yeah, if you guys have any other recommendations for fantasy series that aren't overly like hot and heavy in terms of the romance aspect, let me know, because I think I'm gonna like fantasies a lot. Also, if anyone is trying to grow out bangs, the struggle is real. I'm debating what to do with them for our photo shoot next month, if I want to try to trim them or just leave them this length. But I am going to be changing my hair color a little slightly. I'm going darker. I had originally added these highlights to my hair because I thought that I wanted to have like a nice light balayage, but I was looking at our engagement photos and my hair was a little bit darker in them, and I really like how it looks in the pictures and like the contrast of my lighter skin against the darker hair. So I already got the hair color for it. I'll probably do that this weekend. I might try to take y'all along a little bit for that. It's always a mess, even though I am a licensed hairstylist. Doing your own hair is always a project, like no matter what, because I always wish I could just detach my arms and somehow like do it from behind, because it's so much harder to do it like looking straight on at yourself. But I am going to finish getting ready. Figured I would take you all along for another weekly vlog. I think that's kind of my plan right now, is to try to just do weekly vlogs, and then if I want to add in a sit down video here and there, I might do that. But I think having a just consistent 1 week long video is going to be the most realistic for me in terms of still having a full-time job. If you are new here, I am 28 years old. I am currently an HR manager for a law firm. I live in New Mexico. I live in a house with my husband, Mike, and we love doing different house projects. We're currently finishing our sunroom. Oh, that's another exciting thing that's happening. We're getting carpet in our sunroom on Friday, so that's very exciting. But yeah, I just like to make lifestyle content. It is a faith-based channel, so I talk about my walk with God and being a Christian. So if those are any of the things that you are interested in, feel free to like and subscribe. And like I said, I plan to make videos once a week at a minimum and go from there. But I will check in with y'all here in a little bit. All right, I'm about to head out, but I figured I'd show you my outfit for the day. I don't mind this sock on the dresser, but this is just an old sweater from Target. This is actually a very old jacket from Target too. Pants I think are from Costco, and just some loafers. So we're heading in. It's been snowing all morning and it's frigid, so I had to do a shoe change. I'm in boots now, but we love the snow. So exciting. It is so chilly outside right now. It has been snowing all morning. I had to go home. I was in those loafers this morning. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I was staying in those all day. It is 32 degrees outside. It is snowing. My ankles were frigid, and then in the office, our property management does this thing where they turn off the HVAC over the weekends so they don't have to pay for it. But then when we come in on Mondays, whether it's the winter or the summer, the building is not the right temperature. So in the winters, the building is freezing. And then in the summers, the building is super hot because they turn off the cooler or the heater. So it has been frigid. I've had my heating pad and my little blanket with me at my desk all morning, and it has still been so cold. My fingers are so cold. So anywho, but I have already done my lunch and come back. I just made 2 fried eggs for lunch and had a little bowl of cereal. So not a very exciting lunch, but I am gonna head up. I had a slightly stressful morning because I got an email that a request I submitted hadn't been approved through the third-party vendor. So I started looking into it, and it was a situation where I just didn't know any better because I've never processed a request of this type. I scanned it in black and white. It should have been scanned in color, which made it not get approved. And so I'm trying to get into a paperless system. So basically once I scan everything, I shred the documents, and this had protected information on it. So I shredded it. So I didn't have the paper copy in color, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? It was a previous employee request, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to ask this person to resubmit this entire thing that had to be notarized. It was a whole thing. And luckily her accountant had the document saved and had scanned it in color, but I'm like, goodness gracious, that was quite stressful. And So I just owned up to my mistake. You know, I sent an email basically saying like, I am so sorry, like here's what happened. And luckily the accountant got me the right document back. So crisis averted, but that was a highly stressful morning. And you know, I just have to like give myself grace because I am still new to my position. Like there's a lot of things. Like I got literally 8 hours of training for this role before the other lady went to her other job. So I'm like, it's gonna be okay. Like everything is okay. Like I will learn it as I go. This was the first time I processed this request, but I have a really hard time accepting like what I see to be failure. So anyway, enough chit-chatting. I'm gonna head on in. Hello, it is Tuesday. I'm currently on my lunch break. I just made some eggs, which you all would have seen, and ate those with a cheese stick. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I want to eat that's sweet for lunch. Yesterday I had cereal, but I feel like that's like not super exciting. So I might try to think of something else to make. But I figured I would check in since I really haven't since yesterday. I went after work and came home. I made a chicken pot pie, but we like to do like a cornbread topping on top. I didn't get any video footage of it because we were rushing because I got home. I had to bake that, put it in the oven, get dressed, and then head over, eat and head over to that sculpt class again. It was already time for that again this week. So it was just kind of like a busy evening and trying to get it in and like eat enough, because by the time I got home, I was going to be starting my fast. So we were doing all of that last night. So I just didn't really have a chance to pull out the camera and show you all what was going on. But it has been kind of a busy morning. Also, I forgot that I am wearing my hair like wavy today. I have been trying to force myself to like my wavy hair so that way I can try to not do heat styling with it as much. So anyway, I had a very busy morning at work. I had a meeting this morning with one of our employees who's retiring next month. And so I was trying to gather a bunch of information for the employee just to be able to make sure, of course, that they know everything that's going on before they are done. And then it's kind of an interesting situation because she's moving to like a contract position to help with some like just as needed stuff after she leaves. So had to talk through like what all those changes are gonna look like. And then she had some more questions. So anyway, it just kind of led to like a very busy morning of information gathering, actually having the meeting and then following up. But that is about it right now. We have small group this evening, which I am excited about. This week we start up our like actual discussion portion of small group again, so that should be really nice, and just being able to see everyone and get catching up, so that'll be nice. And one of my favorite parts of small group, which is just such like a small random thing, but I really like it, is she used to work at like a tea room and so she always has a lot of different like fancy teas set out and that we can sip on as we're sitting there. So I'm excited about the tea and being able to just hang out and hopefully have some good discussion. But yeah, we kind of just hung out last night after the sculpt class. It's so funny, and it's just like just ironic how God works, because after last week literally telling the vlog that I wasn't feeling any conviction about that class, I went last night, and about like 20 to 30 minutes in, I just started feeling this, just a level of discernment about it, where I was like, okay, like, yes, this isn't like true yoga, but there was still something that feels like secular about it, where it's like, you know, the instructor, first and foremost, she just was like cursing a lot in the class, because it's like a hype workout class. So she was trying to get us to like be hype, but you know, she would be like, let's effing go, and like, you know, all that type of stuff. So it was just, you know, I was sitting there like, okay, you know, the Bible tells us to like separate ourselves from worldly things and being associated with like being worldly. And I don't know, there was just something about it last night where I was like, okay, God, you spoke to me, and I guess this is not it either. And even like last night was one of the nights, sorry, Jax is scratching right now behind me, but last night was one of the first nights that I had really like listened to the music. And of course, a lot of the music is just like beats and like, you know, techno type of stuff. But there were a few songs last night where it was cursing in the songs and things like that, where I was just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna have to figure out a different workout class. So I spent a little time this morning looking into different ideas of what to do. The hard thing is, and I would love to do some type of like a Pilates or something like that, but it is so expensive. One class is like $25 to like $40 depending on the place that you go, and the memberships are like equally as expensive. So I'm trying to look around and just kind of see what's available. If I want to try to do like, we have like a Choose Fitness in our city that is pretty inexpensive, and it comes with different like workout classes if you get like a specific type of membership. So I've done those before. The only thing that I don't like about Choose is that it's just very gym bro vibes, where I just, you know, there's a different feel that's like associated with a gym like that. So I think it'll be fine if I just go to the actual workout classes and try not to do actual like weightlifting. And even if I did, I mean, I could get over it. But yeah, so I'm looking into that. Even looking into potentially doing something like a class pass where I can try to do different classes. We just like don't have a whole lot of like fun and exciting gyms beyond a ton of yoga studios, which we already know my thoughts on that. So I'm gonna have to think about what I want to do, and how I want to continue getting my exercise. I also, like, in the summers, I love to go on walks with the dogs, but right now it's so cold and like gets dark so early that I don't know the likelihood of me actually getting out of the house and doing that. So we'll just have to see what's going on with that. But I think that's about all the updates I have for you. I'm gonna sit here, figure out what else I am going to eat, and then finish out my day at work. Well, good morning. It is Thursday. I ended up totally just not vlogging at all yesterday, actually. I also, sorry, my shirt's all wet. I had to wet down my hair this morning, but I ended up not vlogging at all yesterday. There wasn't really a whole lot to vlog because I just worked all day, and then after work, I did end up having my wedding dress tailoring appointment, but of course I couldn't really film that because you guys will not get to see what that looks like until we do our elopement photos here in just a few weeks. So we did that. We had leftovers for dinner, and then I literally just read for most of the night. So it was a pretty uneventful day, quite frankly. So I felt like there was nothing really to video. So I am picking up the log this morning. Like I said, it's Thursday. We are almost to Friday, which I'm excited about. It's been feeling very difficult to wake up this week. I don't know if it's been cold because it's been cold or what, but I have been not wanting to wake up. I just got off the phone actually with one of the attorneys at work. She had a lot of things she wanted to talk to me about this morning as she was driving to an appointment. So I am running behind, but I'm not gonna rush because obviously that was work related. So I'm just gonna get myself together here and do the day. But I wanted to fill you guys in on all of my reading. Like I said, I've been reading a ton. It's so funny because I never really thought that I liked reading, and I've been trying really hard to focus on having like less screen time in terms of like just mindless scrolling and all that kind of stuff. And so one of my like New Year's resolutions, if you would call it that, was to try to read more. And so I have recently realized that I actually really enjoy reading. I think it was just because, to be honest with you, the last time that I even like tried reading was in high school, and it was always like the assigned books that I'm pretty sure no one likes. So I think I just decided that I wasn't really a reader when really I just hadn't found things that I liked reading. So I've been reading, I think I shared earlier in this vlog, I read the book Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and it was a good book. And then now I've been, sorry, I'm trying to focus on my eyebrows. I always try to talk to y'all while I'm like, but I've been reading the Empyrean series, which is that Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and then Black Onyx comes out, I believe, in like a week. So I think I shared also in this vlog that I've been reading it and it's really good. And but it's funny because as soon as I said that, of course, it started to get a little more like romantic, for lack of a better word. So there was maybe some more explicit parts that I encountered. And so I was just like, it's really frustrating because the book, I read like 400 pages of the book before it got to that point. And so I'm like fully invested in the story at this point. And so I had to like really sit and figure out what I was going to do about it. Cause I was like, do I feel guilty about reading this type of stuff? Like what, you know, like what are the vibes? And so I talked to Mike about it and how I was frustrated about it because I'm like, ugh, like it doesn't really add much to the plot. It's just there because I guess the author felt like she needed to add it or something, who knows, but it just felt a little like, it's one thing to just talk about it and like talk around the subject of sex in books, but to like explicitly share the details is like a whole other thing, right, for pages. And so I had to like do some deep thinking about what I wanted to do about it. And then I was able to find some different like forums online that tell you ahead of time what like the spicy parts of the books are. That way you can just tag it in your, like I'm reading it on like Kindle on my iPad. So that way I can just flag the pages and then not read them, because I do enjoy like the actual storyline itself, and I decided that I've put this much effort into it that I'm not just gonna put it down because of one chapter out of 40 chapters being that way. So anywho, that's what I decided. But warning to any of you, if you are deciding to pick up that series and don't know that that's coming, then now you know, and you can try to find some different boards so that way you can just completely flip over it and not have to read those parts, because the rest of it's like really thoroughly entertaining. It's about like dragons and war and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's very entertaining. It's fantasy realm, obviously, but yeah, so I've been enjoying that. And my mom has always been into reading. So she, when I was over doing her hair last weekend, gave me one of her favorite books to read, which is called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And so I picked it up last night. I only read about 4 chapters of it. It's been so far kind of a slow start. I know people love the book, so I'm going to give it like a full read, but so far it has started kind of slow. I didn't get super far into it, so I'm hoping when I read a little more of it tonight, it'll start to pick up. But it's basically about people living in France during World War II. So it kind of seems like it's going to be following a couple different storylines. But yeah, so I will keep y'all updated on The Nightingale. I was reading through a lot of reviews on it, and it seems kind of like people either love it or they think it's like the most boring book ever. So I am hoping I will be on the love it side, just purely because my mom enjoyed it and she obviously lent it to me. So, but we will see. So I'm heading into work today. It is Thursday. Like I said, with my dress fitting yesterday, it went really well. The first time I went, she ended up having to take out some in the hips, and then she still has to take out like a little extra in the hips, which I am not super upset about. If there's anywhere that you're gonna have to take out a dress, I would prefer it to be there, but she needs to take that out a little bit. And then something that I'm doing with it is I'm actually adding some pieces of my mom's dress to my own wedding dress. So I brought the pieces with me yesterday to the appointment just to kind of show her what I was thinking, and I was just gonna add it personally because I wasn't gonna like ask the dress seamstress to do it for me, because she works specifically like with the people I bought the dress from. But she basically like took over and was like, no, I'll just add it for you, and you know, it's gonna be a little extra, but I would much rather her do it, and I can trust that it's done right and done well than me trying to do it and potentially like ruining the dress. So that's very exciting. It looks so good. I'm so happy with it. I'll be really excited to show some of the pictures with you all once we do those here in a few weeks. But I think I am all ready. I need to go find my glasses and put them on. If anyone's wondering why sometimes I'm wearing glasses and sometimes I'm not, it's because I always get mixed up on what it is. I'm farsighted, which means I can't see well up close. And when I'm working and looking at a screen all day, they also have blue light in them. So I have a small prescription to help me see up close, like when I'm reading my screen all day, and then the blue light. So I try to not use them all the time though, and become reliant on them. I just started using glasses just a few years ago as like an adult. So I try to not become like super reliant on them, but I do like to use them during work. Otherwise I'll get a headache. So that is what's going on. I will catch up with y'all here in a little bit. All right, I am home for lunch. I switched up a little bit today and made some scrambled eggs instead of fried eggs. Also, I have found that mixing cottage cheese in when you scramble your eggs just makes them so fluffy. And then today I even added like a little more extra shredded cheese, and it just made them like so delicious. And then I just made myself a bowl of cereal that I'm gonna eat here in just a second, but I figured I would check in. It has been kind of a funny morning at work. I feel like I got like the things done that I needed to, but it's been a very like unproductive morning because there's been a few people who have just come into my office or been like outside in the hallway wanting to just like chit chat all morning. So it's kind of just been like a little chit chat type of a day where I had one of like our paralegals came in and talked to me for like 30 minutes about just like home renovations, and then another one of my coworkers came in and talked to me about random stuff, and then my CEO was in the hallway talking to me and the person next to me in their office for like 10-15 minutes. So it's just been like a lot of like doing something and then stopping and chatting with people. So I think that's fine. I will never complain about having people to talk to at work unless I'm like in the middle of a project, in which case I'm just gonna shut my door and they know to not bug me. But majority of the time I'm happy to chat with people. That's kind of one of the only good things about like having to work in the office pretty much full time, is having coworkers to just chit chat with and have relationship with. So that has been my morning. It's been like a weird temperature in the, nice, Jax's butt is just hanging out, but it's been a kind of a funny week in the office because it's been so cold. It's just like now I think I was sharing earlier in this vlog that they turn the heat off on the weekends, and so it takes like basically all week to get the heat back to like what it should be in the office. And so like today, for example, it's like a weird in between where I'm like still kind of cold, but if I take my jacket off, I'm cold, but if I have my jacket on, I'm like too warm. The other thing that's hard is there's like a draft at my feet, and so my feet are just freezing cold all day. I'm at a point where I'm considering bringing in like fuzzy slippers to change into under my desk when I'm not walking around, because it's quite literally like that cold on my feet. So we will see what I end up deciding to do there, but I just threw some chicken into the crock pot for dinner. I'm making like shredded salsa chicken that we can kind of use for a lot of different purposes. We usually put it on just like tortilla chips and make nachos, or sometimes we'll use it to make quesadillas. So I have that in the crock pot now. I need to stop yapping because I forgot I have cereal sitting here in milk and I don't want it to get soggy. So I'm gonna do that and I will check in with y'all later. I am home from work now, and this is an update on the chicken I put in the crock pot earlier, and we can test out together how tender it is. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'm just gonna go through and break it all up and turn it into shredded salsa chicken, and then we're gonna have some nachos for dinner. So oops, sorry, that was probably excessively loud, but delicious. Hi, good morning. We finally made it to Friday. It's Friday. I'm excited. It should be a pretty quiet day at work today. On Fridays, a lot of people don't come into work. All the attorneys have pretty flexible work from home schedules, so they can really work from home whenever they want. So a lot of them prefer to work from home on Fridays, so it's gonna be real quiet in the office today, which should be really nice. Get me just the time to be able to get caught up on a few things that I didn't get done for the week so far. And then tonight should be pretty quiet. Mike has practice tonight, so I'll be home alone for a couple hours. And then I'm thinking I'm going to dye my hair tonight, so I might try to get some vlog footage of that for you all. But yeah, so we made it to Friday. I do need to run. I'm doing hair tomorrow morning for one of my friends, so I need to run and grab a couple supplies today on my lunch break, and then I also need to pick up our groceries today on my lunch break. So those are some updates. The other exciting thing that's happening today is we're getting carpet in our sunroom. So I am not sure how the timing's gonna work. If I'm able to show you some progress, then I will, but if not, then I will show you the final product later today, hopefully. So that's very exciting too, but I will be heading on in and I will check in with y'all later. Okay, we are officially at lunchtime and I am headed over. I'm kind of annoyed because I cannot find a good place to pick up my groceries from, and it's like consistently decent service. Sorry, I'm going over a speed bump. But I'd used Target for years, but every single time that I would use Target, they always forget something in my order, like every single time. Or when it's fulfilled, like something was out of stock and they like don't substitute properly. Anyway, so that is a source of frustration for me. And then with Smith's lately, which is like our version of like a Kroger grocery store in New Mexico, they've lately been slacking too, where it's like almost every time I place an order, they are running behind. And so that just happened to me, and I like rely on this to be able to do it during my lunch break. So that's just extremely frustrating. But that's enough of my complaining. I guess I'll just have to get it after work or something. Hopefully it'll be ready by then. There was one time when I went around the holidays, and they said that it was running behind. Then they said that it was ready. So then I went to the grocery store. I sat in the parking lot for 40 minutes waiting for them to like get it fulfilled for me. Never heard anything. I literally had to like call the store and like cancel my order to be able to leave, because it wouldn't let me like cancel it in the app since I already like said I was in a parking spot. So anyway, I am very frustrated about all of the grocery pickup options, but for me it's like I work full time, we stay busy on the weekends, so it's really nice to be able to do grocery order pickup. But I'm almost at a point where I'm like, do I need to just make time in my life to go grocery shopping? Which also just sounds like the worst thing ever to me, because I haven't done legitimate grocery shopping for like our weekly groceries in like years. So anywho, I am headed to grab this hair stuff for my friend that I'm doing her hair tomorrow, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm going like a back way and trying to figure out where I'm at. I think I need to go one more street over. Doing a little like, we're cutting her hair to like a long bob and adding like a balayage highlight to her, so I needed to get more stuff for that. It's been kind of like, the morning flew by because my boss was in my office all morning talking to me about different stuff and just following up with me on stuff. So it's been kind of busy. Felt like I couldn't really get through as much as I wanted to. I was trying to write up a new policy this morning too. So anywho, I am gonna pull on in here, grab this stuff. This lighting is a little wild right now, but all right, we have yet another update. So I got the beauty supplies from the supply store, basically had driven all the way home, and then I got a text message from the grocery store saying my groceries were ready. So then I had to turn around and drive over here to the grocery store. I figured I could have just gone home, but I was like, I'm out and about, let me just go grab it so I don't have to make another stop after work. It just means I'm gonna have a shorter time at home, but that'll be okay. But anyway, so now I am here parked at the grocery store, about to grab those. I probably will not do a grocery haul because we have the guy there doing our carpet actually right now. So, but I see them bringing out my groceries now, so I will check in with y'all here in a little bit. Okay, here's a quick little grocery haul. I'll start with the meat. So I always like to plan like our full week of dinners ahead of time. So our plan for this week is going to be some sloppy joes, some chicken Alfredo, and then I got some pork chops just in case that wasn't enough for the week. I really like these. They're like a pre-cooked pork chop, and we just sear them up on the stove, and they're really yummy. We always get our re-up of milk. We got some heavy whipping cream. One of these is for the chicken Alfredo, and then the other one I'm actually going to try to switch up how we're doing our coffee creamer and just using heavy cream and just like a simple syrup that I make instead of making a creamer every week. We're gonna have our non-fat Greek yogurt that I've been eating every day for breakfast, Parmesan also for the chicken Alfredo. Eggs, we always eat a ton of eggs every week. The green bell pepper is also for the sloppy joe. We also needed an onion, but I already have one in the fridge. These are some little protein bars, just to get me through in case I need some extra protein some days. I had bought some that I got like a 12 pack of that I still have a few left, but I'm really not liking the taste of them. So I got these to hold me over. We always do a repurchase of bacon every week. Let's see, fettuccine, of course, for the Alfredo. Mike likes to eat Pop-Tarts, so I always keep him stocked up on these. He also eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for work, so got him some more jam. We needed some more Worcestershire sauce, some peppermint tea. These just sounded good. They were on sale and they sounded good for my lunches to make some like protein mac and cheese basically. And then all of our bread. So bread for the PB&Js and for Sloppy Joe's. And then this is the gluten-free brand that I like right here. And last but not least, like I said, I'm going to be switching up how we do our coffee creamer. So I'm going to attempt to make like a simple syrup with this maple extract and hopefully that'll be good. Hi, it's officially Saturday. I spent the morning doing my friend's hair and it turned out really nice. We ended up cutting like 6 inches off of it and doing a little balayage, all that good stuff. So it was really fun. I'm sitting here though, we're getting ready for the carpet guy to come back. He had to finish it today. And so figured I would show you the current state of the sunroom. So we have the curtains pulled up right now so that he can have a good area to work in. But he got the pad down yesterday, but because the sunroom is an addition and doesn't have, like, it uses the heat and AC from our bedroom to heat it, we needed the house to be a little bit warmer so that he could specifically do this little step area right here. So he is coming back today to finish that, and very excited to show y'all what it'll look like here afterwards. But yeah, so we're just hanging out. So Mike had a couple of basketball games this morning, and obviously I was doing hair, so I think we're gonna hang out. We have to stay here obviously while the guy's doing the carpet, and so we'll probably just hang out, try to hang out on the couch while he's in here working on the sunroom. I might do some more reading today. I'm already like probably a third of the way through Iron Flame, which is the second book in the Fourth Wing series. So I'm really liking it so far. It's a little bit more, there's a lot of different information coming out right now. So it's really entertaining to read, and just a lot of the plot is kind of coming together. So very exciting read, but yeah. And then tonight my parents have some family friends that are in town, and so they might be coming over tonight to come see the house. They still have never seen the house, even though we've lived in it for, gosh, almost like 2 years now. So they might be coming over tonight if we are able to get the carpet installed and everything like that. But we're just kind of hanging out today. So